Two of the world's most electrifying strikers are set to clash. Destined for greatness from vastly different backgrounds, two athletes have been traveling down parallel paths. On Saturday, 10 August, live from Times Square in Pretoria, South Africa, they will collide. For Nkazimulo Zulu Boy Zulu, this is a story of redemption, of recapturing a crown and his long-established legacy at the top. For Faeez Jacobs, this is only his beginning, the first of many steps toward building his own legacy, lifting himself toward the next level of his journey. This is the Countdown to EFC 81, proudly brought to you by Restonic. It is an icy winter's morning in Cape Town, South Africa, just several weeks out from the biggest fight of his career, and Faeez Jacobs is taking advantage of a rare clear day in the Cape of Storms, heading to the Newlands Forest for some solo training and to clear his mind ahead of the big fight's many obligations.
We have quite a bit of smart people, so you constantly in a banter with somebody. We are going to Newlands Forest. You're gonna see a view like no other. Cape Town is such a beautiful place. I just go there to be with myself. And now I've given you an invitation. I love just sitting there and listening to the river and the way it's just endless nothing. It's so perfect. Let's go run a mountain. That is just perfect.
There has only ever been one goal on his mind, one main aspiration he is aiming to achieve.
A lot of good memories at this place.
From an amateur competitor working as an Uber driver to make ends meet, to being on the cusp of greatness, he is solely focused on one singularity: to become the EFC bantamweight champion of the world.
And now we're headed to the gym. Gotta eat this green. Green is good for losing weight. That's my advice to all the people of the world.
In early 2017, Jacobs first announced himself to the world in his EFC debut. A betting underdog, he was relatively unknown, but soon the MMA universe would start to hear his name.
The debut went so fast. Everything was just from one breath to the next. I was warming up and then I was in the cage.
And just a few weeks ago, he was driving Uber, and here he is fighting right here in the Grand Arena. Brand new to the EFC, and he definitely has something to prove here in his debut.
I came from other promotions and I've been winning for a long time, and I didn't know how significant that moment was, but it was cool to experience it. Before I knew it was over, all of a sudden it was just done.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, EFC! Woo!
Well, congratulations. Victory on debut. We look forward to seeing you again.
Faeez, the troublemaker Jacobs.
Just 2 months later, he returned to action to face a Muay Thai champion. As the bout date came nearer and the hype built, they were moved to the main card. Jacobs, understanding the magnitude of his position, went to work, rising to the occasion.
PECO was a really cool moment for me. It was one of the first moments that my family started actually taking my goal seriously. There was a lot of people wanting me to quit, and a lot of people wanting me to go study and do the normal, the normal route of things. I've been telling them it for years, And when they saw the fight on TV, it was a big significant moment in my family, because that's when everyone came around and I had unconditional support. In that moment, they could see my vision as clearly as I could.
That's Faeez Jacobs, the troublemaker, looking to go 3-0. And that's Nkazimulo looking to go 2-0. This is a big matchup.
His rise to the top, however, was not without setbacks. In only his third fight, he faced a formidable opponent who tested him on a new level. And although he was defeated, Jacobs' qualities as a man who is stronger than your average, who has no quit, and who will grab any opportunity with both hands, was exposed to the world.
Faeez Jacobs landed a monster knee on that takedown attempt. Here comes Timo.
Can Faeez Jacobs fire back with something? Wow! But my goodness, that was one of the better rounds that you'll see in mixed martial arts ever in your life.
Here he goes.
For the takedown, he's got the single, gets him down. That's exactly what he wanted.
Nkazimulo finish him. Can Faeez keep moving?
Greg Love's gonna step in.
In his fourth appearance in his freshman year, Jacobs made headlines once again. He went on to face Nkazimulo, a master of the striking arts and a former teammate of his upcoming opponent, Zulu.
Fighting 4 times a year is actually not even half as much as I want to fight a year. If I could fight every month, I'll put me in there every weekend. If there's no injuries, I'd gladly jump in there every weekend.
Oh, and he takes a big shot. Oh, man, he can put out 3 shots.
The troublemaker was becoming an icon, and the world was watching.
I just need a body to get in there so that I can fight. To me, it's fighting 4 times a year was I really enjoyed that. Moving, just going from one fight to the next. Don't know shit about my opponent, just jump in there and put on my skills.
One thing I want to say is don't ever count troublemaker Faeez Jacobs out. I'm still coming for that belt.
A new year, and all his hopes and dreams were laid out in front of him. Jacobs welcomed harder and bigger challengers, and in doing so, faced 2 more former training partners of Zulu.
I haven't walked in this road as well.
Right now means a hell of a lot to me to keep that promise I made to myself when I was a 16-year-old boy, to prove to myself that I could set a goal, and regardless of all the that happened, regardless of the ups and the downs, I could make it happen.
Need that one.
I see.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, my bro. Through hell, through pain, through a whole lot of
I only bullied those that are willing to accept it. Okay, bye-bye.
I got through, and I stayed true to myself with conviction and certainty, and I fought till the end, and I feel as if I deserve to be champion. The Tumisang Madiba fight, I wanted to come out and just put on a performance.
Now he's going to leave himself wide open. Big left hand, right hand.
Tim is just covering up. He needs to move. Tim is in trouble.
Faeez.
I would have liked to stand with Tumi a little more. I feel like once that first shot clocked him, I caught him with a left, and then a right hook, and I saw the look on his face. I feel like he didn't understand with me after that.
Incredible! Faeez just did it! Oh, he took out the president!
The whole time I was comfortable. I felt comfortable, and I could enforce damage. I could be in a position where I could feel him tiring himself out, and then from there I just turned the tide, and there was an energy shift, and the moment the energy shifted, I put on the gas pedal and I went for the finish. When it came to the TC Cruiser fight, I felt as if no matter who I was gonna face, I was ready. I was ready to face anyone and everyone. I just wanted to put on a performance and finish whoever they put in front of me. I wanted to start making statements so that you could start talking about title fight.
You have to defend yourself a little bit better.
Getting my hand raised there was as if I knew that I was one step away from the belt. WEYER station. I was sitting in a hotel room. I came up to Joburg to help with the corner Hisham. I got sent a message like 8 o'clock at night already, and Graham asked me if I wanted to fight WEYER station. I was like, I'm down for it. I got on the scale, checked my weight. I said, okay, I'll fight 66, no problem. Me fighting a fight like that, I knew I was ready, no matter what. I just waited and stayed patient. When he exposed his holes, I was ready to take it.
Another nasty elbow. Takes another one. Here comes the knee.
The punishment.
He's down on his feet. Faeez Jacobs on 24 hours notice.
And to me, I wanted to cement the fact that it's my time now.
And I mean, if I did this in 24 hours, what can I do with a full camp? Give me that belt, give me my shot.
How you feeling? I'm feeling great. I need to fight another 3 times this weekend.
What did you think of that performance? It's Troublemakers time!
This is the countdown to Zulu versus Jacobs. Proudly brought to you by Restonic.
This is EFC Africa. Making his way out to the hexagon is Nkazimulo Zulu. He is in a rush to get there, that's for sure. And a man of massive talent. Someone making his debut tonight here at EFC Africa.
Not all are recognized immediately for their potential greatness, and sometimes it takes the shock of a loss to spark the fire that will inspire them toward greatness. On 19 April 2013, this is how Zulu began his EFC career.
See, WILKEN definitely more comfortable on the ground. Big knee and a couple of big shots landed by Zulu.
Fantastic debut for Zulu boy, but the warrior composed, showed his experience to escape.
And of course, it was that submission attempt from Zulu as well. So
to the winner by majority decision, Donovan the Warrior WILKEN.
we saw him in a great bout back at EFC Africa 19 when he fought Donovan WILKEN. Went to a 3-round and he lost it on a split decision.
He learned valuable lessons. His adeptness for combat was unleashed, and against a fresh opponent, the destructive nature of his striking was revealed.
Zulu not wasting any time, came swinging out the gate, 3 leg kicks, all 3 landed flush. Now he attacks the body.
Not a good place to be. Zulu boy impressing.
She does successfully. See how he just sort of times those shots.
It's all over. Oh my goodness me.
Unbelievable. Out of nowhere, Zulu boy fires
boy.
a hip kick.
Hey, when I'm looking at you now, all I see is my food. Hey, either riding you die now, it's the moment.
2 more back-to-back wins saw Zulu rise through the ranks.
There it is. Zulu boy gets the win.
Watch out, bantamweight division. Here comes Zulu boy.
And earn a shot at the inaugural EFC Bantamweight Championship.
Nose is absolutely shattered from that head kick.
This time, though, it was against his own teammate and training partner, Charlie WEYER.
And of course, he is competing for the inaugural bantamweight title.
I know multiple people who have been almost knocked out from Zulu boy's head kicks. He has insane power. He just twists his hips and those leg kicks come out of nowhere.
5 rounds for the inaugural EFC Africa Bantamweight Championship.
Zulu was fast becoming unstoppable and turning into one of the biggest names in the organization. It took him 1 round to dispatch WEYER and be named the very first EFC Bantamweight champion.
Nkazimulo Zulu is the inaugural EFC Africa Africa bantamweight champion.
We have a champion, people.
A new threat was looming. While Zulu was rising, the undefeated 145-pound champ, PENA, was biding his time and picking apart the heavier featherweight division. After Zulu defeated WEYER, PENA turned his sights on him. The Wolf went on to relinquish his featherweight title, and in a fight that was destined to challenge both men to the core, PENA challenged Zulu to EFC gold.
Former featherweight champion of EFC.
It was widely known that Zulu is one of the world's best on the feet, but how would he fare against the relentless wrestling of the Angolan great?
And he faces arguably the toughest test of his fledgling career.
PENA always has a very calculated.
Never looks phased by anything, does that belt. Away. Another one, down they go. That's the end of round one. Round two gets underway.
He was more of the same, but he didn't have a
Gets
gap.
it, down they
Gets
go.
into the ground.
Experienced, just PENA. Up they go. Standing again. Interesting to see that game plan of Zulu.
Round after round, the two men traded leather and bones. Zulu the stronger on the feet, and PENA controlling the battle on the ground.
Combination close the gap.
Oh! Into the championship rounds, round four.
PENA ducks in underneath that punch though, puts Zulu straight on his back. As Zulu comes in, closes the gap, PENA immediately goes for that single.
The final round
Has been clinical tonight as PENA knew what the game plan was, stuck to it completely. And shoots for the takedown as PENA, but Zulu manages to...
After 25 minutes, the masterful tactician took the title, and Zulu's hopes and dreams as the bantamweight champion, for now, were gone.
And it must be said, PENA has done enough.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision and the new EFC bantamweight champion, the Wolf PENA.
Although he had great success throughout most of his bouts at bantamweight, the top control of a heavier opponent ultimately led to his downfall.
I know this is a job, it's not a hobby. I have to feed my family, I have to feed my kids. I have to stay on top. I have to. It's not a choice, it's a must. That's why I will give everything I have, everything. Work hard, I don't quit. Champions don't quit. I will give everything I have.
The organization had just opened a lighter flyweight division, and in doing so, opened another groundbreaking opportunity for the Zulu King. For Zulu, there is only one way, and that way is always up.
Fighting for the inaugural flyweight title tonight. He was meant to fight in this division. Incredible knockout power, especially considering the weight that these guys walk around at.
That is Nemo, Craig Eno, and he's on a mission. Round number one is underway in this championship fight.
Head hunting early on is Nkazimulo Zulu.
Targeting that nose, what do you think, Dirk?
Zulu's landing, is putting combinations to get a big kick.
The quickness of Zulu Boy is on display here in our main event.
Oh, Craig Eno's in trouble here, big uppercut.
That
Eno
uppercut.
does not know where he is. Zulu looking to finish. And
Can
Eno
Zulu
taps
finish?
out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zulu Boy.
He had found a home in the new flyweight division. Untouchable for nearly 5 years, he reigned supreme. Defeating challenger after challenger in devastating fashion, King Zulu had claimed all there was in the division. And with that, the prospect of retaking old territory was awakened. Zulu's latest plans had evolved with ambitions to recapture the bantamweight title. JP Bass, the new champion of the bantamweight division, the division Zulu initially controlled, had little in common with Zulu, but lots to lose. Zulu wanted Bass, all that Bass had, and was determined to challenge him. But a matchup between the two division greats was destined not to be. As history repeated itself, a new undefeated warrior emerged. A man gifted equally with his abilities inside the hexagon as well as out was Jake Hadley. The English enigma, unknown by most, entered EFC as a title contender and left the EFC world in shock.
And he's going to throw a big left hand. Oh, 100%. I mean, he's proving that as we speak. Just tremendous work here by Jake Hadley. And
just so deadly. I don't know if Zulu has seen the tape.
There was the takedown replay. Nobody saw it coming. Let's walk through it first.
Oh, some cracking left by Zulu. And he was wide open for it.
They felt that one making life difficult for Zulu, but it was not going to last very long.
Great play.
You would know this. The feeling that title slip away.
Oh, he slipped away.
Coming up top.
Well, but I completely agree with you on your point.
Zulu's reign as flyweight champion was over. He called for an instant rematch, one he ultimately would not get, but his ambitions to continue to take on the world's best was not over.
I can only say this about Zulu Boy, is that even though he might have lost fights, like he's got the L there, he's never really been defeated. He's taken every single fight to the last second of the last round, and that's how he fights, to the very bitter end.
The reigning bantamweight champion, JP Bass, who at the time was making his way to the USA, was offered Zulu as a challenger, but he declined.
He wanted that fight. We wanted that fight. We thought that would be the most amazing fight for those two respective divisions. And it always seemed to be pushed aside by JP. He didn't really want to have anything to do with Zulu Boy.
He rightfully chose to not defend his title and accepted the notion that an interim championship would take place.
When we put championship fights together, it's natural. That's the #1 contender, that's the title holder. This didn't have to happen as a title fight. I'm telling you something now, I would have put this fight on regardless because it's a spectacle. It's a fight you're gonna wanna see. They've got exactly the same sort of tenacity in their striking. They're in your face, they're wild, they're crazy. They're gonna wanna stand toe to toe and trade for as long as possible. Zulu, the more technical of the two, but it's that almost unorthodox, rangy striking that's gonna really set Faeez in a different space. He's the outlier in this fight on the striking.
I feel like this fight is probably gonna end inside 3 rounds. Most likely just a violent stoppage, bro. I know that a Zulu Boy is gonna bring the best out of me. When you bring that side of me out, fights get finished, bro.
Faeez is gonna be wild as hell. And that's what I like about him. That's what people don't understand, is that that's the type of fighting that you can't prepare for. How is Zulu gonna prepare for Faeez Jacobs?
I wanna stay who I am. I wanna be #1. When I get into the cage with another fighter, I just give everything I have. If they put someone in front of me, I wanna destroy that person.
On the 10th of August, 2 African heroes carving contrasting career paths will fight. With interim bantamweight gold on the line, a legend of the sport and a rapidly rising star on different journeys leading them both to Times Square will go head-to-head in one of the most exciting matchups in EFC history. Only one can claim the interim championship.
If I say that people will gonna wake up in a hospital, they wake up in a hospital like I planned it. It just happened. Keep your hands up. I feel sorry for him. The minute he dropped those hands down, he's gonna wake up somewhere else.
You're gonna see absolute flames. That whole building is gonna see the light.
Only one can leave as king.
You better be ready. The king is coming for you.
It's Troublemaker's time!
Anyone who wants to fight Zulu Boy, I'm ready. I'm gonna be a champion soon.
Zulu Boy, one of the most feared strikers worldwide.
Who here would want to see me fight for the belt? Give me the opportunity and watch me shine.
Troublemaker, he wants a title shot.
On Saturday, 10 August, Nkazimulo Zulu takes on Faeez Jacobs for the interim EFC bantamweight championship.
Big shot. Nkazimulo Zulu is so accurate with his hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zulu Boy, the Troublemaker does it again. Faeez Jacobs, he wants that title shot.
Now it's time to play. This is Troublemaker's world.
Plus, the audacious Tulisang the President Madiba runs it back against wrestling phenom Pierre Botha. EFC 81, live from Times Square, Pretoria. Tickets and broadcast info at efcworldwide.com.